Veterans Affairs Secretary Bob McDonald is facing bipartisan pushback after he compared veterans' long waits for medical appointments to wait times at Disney theme parks. On Tuesday, he said he had, quote, regret for any confusion that came from his remarks, but stopped short of fully apologizing.
I'm working as hard as I can to do this, and I'm bringing together all the experience that I've had to do it. Things are improving, but they're not where they need to be, and we're working hard to get them there.
And given all that, are you sorry that you said what you said?
Look, as I said, I'm here to improve the veteran experience. I'm here to get more veterans in for care. I'm here to reduce the disability claim backlog. Wait times are important, but they're not the only measure of veteran experience, and that's what veterans are telling us. We've talked to a lot of veterans. It's important, and if I was misunderstood, or if I said the wrong thing, I'm glad that I have the opportunity to correct it.
House Speaker Paul Ryan called McDonald's statements disgusting, and Republican Senator Roy Blunt says McDonald should resign. Some Democrats are also going after McDonald. Representative Tammy Duckworth, an Iraq War veteran, called McDonald's remarks tone deaf. Representative Tulsi Gabbard is with us from Capitol Hill. She's a Democrat from Hawaii and a major in the Army National Guard. She's also on the House Armed Services Committee. Congresswoman, thanks for being with me.
Thanks, Elaine.
So you deployed twice to the Middle East with the Guard. As a member of the armed forces and as a Congresswoman, what is your response to Secretary McDonald's remarks?
I got to tell you, when I read that, I got pissed off. I thought his remarks were insensitive at best, but they were just completely flat out wrong. And he should do the right thing and apologize to our veterans and apologize to the country for making such a terribly wrong statement.
As you know, Missouri Republican Senator Roy Blunt is calling for Secretary McDonald to resign. Do you want to see that?
You know, playing musical chairs with his position as Secretary of the VA is not going to solve anything. It might make a few people feel better. It might make them think that they're actually doing something. But when you look at the systemic problems within the VA, that won't solve the problem. We need to take action to actually hold people accountable, to make sure that the Secretary has the power that he needs to either be able to demote people or fire people or hold his bureaucracy accountable for the actions that are occurring. Still, even as this whole wait time scandal has erupted, as we've learned more and more about all of the horrific actions that took place where veterans who were waiting for care died while waiting, no one has been prosecuted for any of these actions. And accountability is the most important thing that needs to happen here if we think that we can solve or change the behavior or the culture, unfortunately, that exists within the VA today.
The Secretary put out this statement Tuesday evening, quote, "If my comments Monday led any veterans to believe that I or the dedicated workforce I am privileged to lead don't take that noble mission seriously, I deeply regret that. Nothing could be further from the truth." Is that enough for you?
I don't know why he can't just say, "I'm sorry." You know, he's talked about how that's not what he meant to say, and he's tried to explain himself about how there are many different things that go into a veteran's experience. It means a lot to people when leaders stand strong and take responsibility. I think an apology would go a long way. But even more than that, what would really mean more to veterans is to start to see these changes within our VA clinics, within our VA hospitals across the country, so that the bureaucracy is not serving itself, but it's actually remembering and focusing every single day on its mission to take care of and serve our veterans.
Here's what your fellow House Democrat, who's also a veteran, Tammy Duckworth, said, quote, "Comparing abhorrent wait times to a trip to Disneyland is unbelievably tone deaf and hurtful to American heroes desperately in need of care." Would you agree with that the Secretary has been, quote unquote, tone deaf?
I agree with that statement completely. It's a very cold look at things when you actually look at the people who've been impacted by these wait times. I've spoken with my fellow veterans and friends and constituents of mine in Hawaii who, by the way, had the longest wait times of any state in the country. These are things that devastate veterans and their families, and unfortunately in some cases have resulted in people's loss of life, their death. So to compare it to a wait time for an amusement park ride is really ridiculous and should never have occurred.